Hi, welcome to the Shelley Studio. Today I am working on my book for my collection of curiosities. I thought I'd show those pages. That was kind of the last thing I did in part one, so this is part two. Part one, I basically covered all the pages, used a lot of the technique to get crazing and sort of pockmarks on the page. And I did take a match to the edges of the pages, so they are really burnt. Yeah, I went outside and burnt the edges of the pages. But now, part two, I'm just going through and adding some stenciling, extra layers. If I feel like a picture from the encyclopedia is showing up too much, or if I think there's too much white on a page, I'm adding stenciling to it to make it more interesting. And I want it to be kind of eclectic, mysterious. The idea is to make an interesting Halloween style book, that's about magic. I like magic. I don't really do, witches, spells, stuff like that. I'm not really into that. I think this page, it had too much white, so I decided to pull out my quinacridone nickel hazel gold and give it another coat. And I really like the nickel hazel gold on it. It's kind of my cure-all for everything. When I heard they were going out and not going to have any more, I bought a few varieties. So this one's a high flow, or the one I just did was a high flow. It was actually in a sample pack that I got a long time ago, so I'm using that up first. And now I'm using butterflies. These are PM Artist Studio masks. They do masks and stencils. They do stamps too. I haven't included my stamps in my pages yet, but I plan on it. That really didn't show up much. So back to the quinacridone nickel hazel gold. I'm just going to put this right over the top. And then find a page to put it on. So I have this one that has some great stuff on the other side. And I was thinking I could lift this and then take the butterflies out and then print the design from the butterflies. So I don't take it all the way apart, so I'm just going to take that out and then print it. But what happens is my climate is so dry. This is sped up, but I was pretty quick. But look, hardly anything lifted. So I'm going to take some matte medium, bring it down. Oh, and it slipped off. So I have to line it up. That's the hard part. I'm not sure how well that lined it up. But then it's going to have to dry. So I decided, since it was going to sit on that plate and dry, I would do some stenciling. And this is another, most of the stencils I use today are PM Artist Studio stencils. I do have a few others, and I will name them as I go along. I didn't want this to really, really stand out, but I was thinking another layer of that color would be enough contrast so you could see the design of the mask. And it's not enough. So I'm going to put that back, and I'm going to add a little blue. So the idea is to make it kind of brownish. That's a crazy color, isn't it? Yeah. It's kind of a grayish brown color. It's very I don't know, like old blood. I shouldn't be saying that. That's what it reminds me of. Dried blood. We'll go with brown. A red-brown color. There, now it really stands out. So I decided to do like a pyramid. I thought that would be fun. And I think that's a magical shape, right? I was thinking, when I did this, I was thinking I'd seen triangles and pyramids. What's a triangle, really? But those shapes in magic. And I'd already put the triangle shape at the top, so I thought this went well. And I decided to just repeat the same pattern on the other side. And might as well use up all that paint I've got, right? Alright. And then I have one of these circles that looks, I think it reminds me of an eye in the center of it, so that's what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to add a little bit of white for the eyeball. And I think I put a little bit of purple in, or blue, sorry, a little bit of blue in there for the center of the eye. Just for fun. Now remember, this is all while the page underneath is drying. Just emphasizing those circles. This is a Pitt artist pen, so hopefully it will be permanent. There won't be any trouble if I do something else to the page later. Eyeball. Weird looking eyeball, but an eyeball. There, I'll just close the triangle. Okay, so it's ready to lift. Cross our fingers. And voila! Oh yes, I'm showing my phone. I hope you saw that. Just in case you missed it. I'll do a flip through at the end, so hopefully you'll get a good view of the pages. Here I'm doing some more of the rune blocks. This is a stencil. It was a stencil by PM Artist Studio. I can't remember the designer, but I cut it up into separate runes because I thought that's the way it should come. But it comes as one full sheet, so yeah, I modified it. Then peeling those off as fast as I can, so I can put a piece of paper down and hopefully lift it. I think it gets a very faint. I'm trying to remember. Oh, yeah, I stuck those on, thought I would try and get a flop off, but yeah, nothing. They're dry fast. Lift this up, and you can see it a little bit in a few places. Love that deep red color. So I decide I want something on this blue side, so I'm stenciling, and I think I'm just using a little bit of brown. I don't know, it's off screen, so it's hard to tell. And I'm sorry about the lighting. Some of the paint is kind of shiny rather than matte, so my light kind of reflects off there. And when I'm doing it, I can't tell because I'm sitting at a different angle than my camera, so I apologize for that. Oh, and then I decide to go around and outline them so they look like separate runes. And I don't know why I'm not using my other hand. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what it's doing. But there we go. And that tube of brown just went in the garbage because I was out. I mixed that with a little bit of something. It's a very interesting dark color. And this particular piece of paper is just to lift off the background so that I can get the bird onto one of my papers. I'm really rubbing. I really want it to all lift off. So I'm giving it a good massage. And there we go. It's not too I put the eyeball in and the beak because it was like almost invisible. Hard to see in that dark. I think that was kind of a bluish color, so it didn't show up as well as I wanted it to. And I think I'm just going through them in the order they're stacked. So as I pick up a piece, I just go with what I think it needs. So that's why I'm going with this. And it keeps slipping out of my hands. Can't hold on to it for some reason today. So if you didn't see the other video, my plan is to create this book and then add something. I'm hoping to try to add something every day in October. I definitely won't be uploading every day, but the idea is to have something on each page each day and then maybe do just my regular schedule, hopefully. I usually upload videos on Wednesday and Saturday mornings. And yeah, that one had lots of globbies on it. And sorry, some of those you aren't seeing as I'm pulling them. I apologize for that. I guess I forgot the camera was on and was just going to town. So I forget to show it to the camera. Bad habit. That one you can hardly see. We'll have to do something else to that one eventually. Now I've pulled out some gold paint, and these are, I think they're called Nested Circles. They're also by PM Artist Studio. All the PM Artist Studio stencils and masks are made out of Yupo paper. And they're a lot of fun to play with. Metallic is really hard because it dries so fast, so I'm using my Baron to really rub it in, hopefully get it to lift, and yeah, there we go. In fact, I'm personally ahead of what's going on here, and that page I just lifted, that's the next page to work on for me. And here I'm hoping to get the gold. Sorry, the table is shaking. I'm pushing really hard on that Baron. Hoping to get the gold off. I like that one even better. I don't even remember. Oh, still playing with my nested circles. Just piling them on. And this is another piece of encyclopedia paper that hasn't got anything, just using it to lift the paint out of the cracks. Just pulling those off really quick, trying to get them off before they dry so that I can get the paper on. The encyclopedia paper is just a little bit smaller than my gel plate. Partially because I burned an edge, partially because when I cut it out of the book, I took the book block out of the book and then I cut the edge off where it was glued. So I might have cut it in a little too much, but that's okay. And this one is another PM Artist Studio stencil. This is actually, the designer is Froyle. I do remember that. Trying to get some to lift, but yeah, again, nothing lifted. We'll just stick it straight onto the gel plate. Push with the baren. You can see a little bit if you tilt it at the right angle. Now this stencil is from iStencils. This is a different one. And I thought it looked kind of magical or Book of Shadows type interesting that way. And so I used it. This is a stencil by Robin McClendon. That looks pretty cool. I decided to just lift it, and it kind of leaves marks everywhere where I lifted and put the paper back down. So because it was kind of interesting, I decided to lift it onto one of my pages. I can't remember what that page looked like before, but here we go. That's kind of interesting. It looks like it had some blue-green turquoise maybe on there. And this one is another Robin McClendon. I know they really feel kind of Native American to me. And kind of magical. So I can't remember what she called them. But this one is a gift that keeps on giving. Like, I think I'd get it on 3 pages. And there we go again. One more page. Haven't figured out what I'm putting on with that, but, you know. That one even had a little bit of something. So this is another Robin McClendon. It's one of her brushstroke designs. Got to cover up the little bit of paint so it doesn't end up on there. I'll just stick that right in the center. There we go. So I hope you guys are all doing well today. Haven't said that in a while. It's been a good day today here. It's actually, 11 o'clock at night now, but it was a good day. probably why I sound mellow. It's time to go to bed. I got to work in the morning. This one cuts out. You don't see it, but I use another Robin McClendon stencil. It's her scripting. I put it right on that red. Oh, I love it. You'll see it eventually. You'll see it at the flip through at the end, obviously. And then I like it so well, I don't do a lot to that page when I get to that page. And add something magical to it. Now this stencil, this is a Margelle original. I originally made it out of paper, and I really enjoyed the design. It's sort of a Native American feel too. And then I had some stencil material. I decided to cut it out, and I just used an X-Acto knife and cut it out. And I'm just rotating it so those little dashes end up on the page on both ends. It's just different. Just decided I'd use up the rest of that paint and stick it on another page. Because why not, right? I haven't gotten to one of those pages yet either. Alright, so I decided to try this out. I have a China marker. That's what I'm drawing the lines with, is a China marker. So that's like a waxy based crayon type pencil. And the idea is it will resist the paint. So whatever you draw, you do it like an image transfer. Yeah, you'll see. The first one, I don't get it dark enough. I do this twice. The first one, I don't get dark enough. And then I go through and do it again. And I'm doing the golden spiral. Is that what it's called? I can't remember. But, and then I just add random numbers just for the heck of it. Alright, so the idea, and I do it in blue. I think I did the last one in a light color, and it didn't show up. This one doesn't show up very well either. So, it's not dark enough. I mean, you can see it when I lift this, but it's quite thin, the lines, and it's blue that's transparent. So you can see it, but just barely. And I decided to wait and use matte medium on it because I knew it would be dry. Like the minute I lifted it up, it was dry. So I used matte medium to lift it, and I let it sit for a while. And while it's drying, because I knew it wasn't going to work, I just go ahead and darken all those lines. Make it them nice and thick and extra waxy. Can't remember if the numbers show up very well, but yeah, and this design inspired me to do the cover of my book. Well, inspired the cover of my book. So this design also ends up there in a fashion. Alright, so I think this is the blue one. Yeah, you can, that's all you see is the one line. You see hardly anything. So now we're going to do it in black. Now this should really show up. Okay, putting it down. There we go. That's what it should look like. And again, matte medium, because it only takes a few minutes for things to dry here. And then I put a page down. And I do let this dry. You gotta let that matte medium dry. And I just come, I leave it, I come back, I fill it, You know, if it still feels cool to the touch, I wait. And there we go. Yeah, we got it on there. It worked, it worked. I think I was liking that teal and green from the other day. So I put it out there. I spritzed some water on there. I wanted some crazine. And then I've got a wooden block. And this actually has runes on it. I'm trying to remember where I got it. Somebody I watch all the time, I think it was Patty Tolly Parrish, had that particular wooden block, and I really liked it, so I bought it. That didn't show up too well, but I do use it again, but you don't see it. So here are all the pages that I did today. They'll be going in the book. I hope you liked this video. If you did, leave me a thumbs up and a comment. Tell me which print's your favorite. What would you put on there? Anyways, thank you all for watching. Have an awesome day.